What's up, everyone? So, we're going to do the Egyptian Book of the Dead. It's a long one. Lori's in. Hey, Lori. We're just going to wait for some more people to come in. Right, so let's let some people come in. Guys, let yourselves know in the chat. Sounds good. Thank you, Lori. So, Mary's in. Two Marys. Mary Ellen and Mary Grether. Hello, everyone. We're going to do... Hold on. We're going to do the Egyptian Book of the Dead today. We're just going to let people come in. 6 o'clock on a Sunday. So I figured, dinner's already done. People are around. We should be able to have a fun trip with the Book of the Dead. So guys, what news topics do we want to go into? If you want to leave comments and let me know what the thing is, I would really appreciate it. So please, guys, let me know what's been going on. So please let me know. And this is a massive book, guys. I mean, there's commentary. So this is commentary. The last one here, chapter for preventing a man from going upside down and from eating feces. Why is that a chapter in the Egyptian Book of the Dead? Why is that? Huh. It's interesting. Oops. So people are starting to come in. Hello, everyone. Who's in here? Places you can't go. What are some places you can't go? Mary, what is this? I don't know what that symbol is. Is that a soccer ball? Talking about the Olympics? I made a video about the Olympics yesterday where I explained, I guess I'll do it now real quick too. The people on the left were saying that the opening ceremony was not a recreation of the Last Supper. What they were saying was that it was because the Olympics are Greek, it had to do with Dionysus and a festival for her. Well, what I explained yesterday in my video that I made last night is there was something called Great City Dionysia, which was the first play on record that ever existed. This was a festival in 324 BC, 527 BC. I forget the exact date. but it's one of the first things that you learn in acting school, is that that's where plays come from. The modern day plays that we basically know. They did a bunch of plays honoring Dionysus in the Greek times. And it was also basically the beginning of stand-up comedy, because they had people come in and go speak to everyone in the stadium. And the guy would be like, hey, did you hear what Aristotle did back there? And they would start stand-up sort of like that. Now, it was also a very sexually oriented thing. There were orgies. There was a lot of things. So to claim that it's not the Last Supper and it's a feast for Dionysus is a pretty interesting take, to be honest with you, because it's still a deviant thing to an extent, or at least sexually deviant things of that nature. So it's called the Great City Dionysus. And that's what they basically did. So I'm going to give it a little bit more to get more people in. Jamie's in. Hey, Jamie. And yeah, so let's just basically wait, guys. Questions in the comments. Let me know what you want me to address real quick before we get started with the Egyptian Book of the Dead. It is I don't know if you guys can see this. But there's pictures on every page. I've highlighted the astrotheology, and it goes on and on. There's pictures. This actually opens up. And this is a massive, massive piece of literature that we're going to break down with astrotheology, if you guys are interested. So I think that's why you guys are here. Kristen is here. Kristen, I hope the Journey concert last night was worth it. It looked fun. Journey's a great band. I hope you had a good time. You were probably the darkest person there, but it was probably an amazing time. I mean, just an incredible show. Thank you for the little clips of the videos that you made. So Kristen is here, and I'm going to give it about another 7 minutes or so to let people come in. So guys, start chatting up in the chat. Let me know what's on your mind, what the good word is. Mary Ellen Peters. Leonardo was an alchemist who had little respect for the Roman Church. This is 100% true. But at the same time, he knew how dangerous they were, which is why he encoded the astrotheology, amongst other things, in his paintings. Michelangelo did the same thing with God giving David life. God giving Adam life. Sorry. They had to encode it because they knew how dangerous it was. He was an alchemist. In fact, one of the 5 people in the entire history of the world that I would love talking to would be Da Vinci. He was probably the most accomplished person for many different topics out of everyone. I mean, being an artist was just one of the things he did. He was absolutely incredible. He was an incredible human being. He came up with the flying machine. He used to write his words backwards, which the church used to say was evil, but he did it so people would have to look into a mirror. They'd have to look into a mirror in order to read it, what his notebooks were. Yes, he knew. Kim is in. Hi, Kim. Yes, he knew. Of course he knew. They all knew. They all knew. Guys, through history, they all knew. And their quotes are still here. See, a lot of what I do and a lot of what a lot of people do is we're basically just, like, the information is there. Like, you can find it. A lot of us are just basically sifting through the information and just looking to make sense of it. That's what we're basically doing. So I'm going to give it again another about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll get started. Joe Archuleta's in, Dionysus, and the bull's blood. Well, the bull was a popular sacrifice because we're talking about the age of Taurus, right? But the Greeks, that would have been roughly the age of Aries, for sure. But everything goes back to bull worship and bull sacrifice. I mean, what are they doing in Israel right now? This is the age of Aquarius we're basically pulling into right now. And they have the red heifers there that they're willing to sacrifice in order to start rebuilding the third temple. The problem with that they're going to find as they try and do this, Donald Trump can move the embassy to Jerusalem. They could say Jerusalem is the true capital. They could do all this stuff. But, excuse me, what you're going to find is that it's bull sacrifice. You know, Moses and the golden calf. It's always been bull sacrifice. They're always trying to bring it back to bull sacrifice. And what they realize, or they don't realize, is that the age of bull sacrifice is dead. Jonathan Sadler's in. Loving the hat. Thank you, my friend. I actually have a bird in here, and I'm trying to keep them quiet because they're watching a movie in the other room. I'm just kidding. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I basically just woke up a little while ago, to be honest with you guys, but I'm very excited to do this for you guys tonight. The Egyptian Book of the Dead, because a lot of people are scared by it. Now, also, you see it here. It says the Book of Going Forth by Day, which is another way of calling it the Book of the Dead. Now, I have some friends that could basically... This book is dedicated to Tahuti. Tahuti would be the Egyptian version of the word Thoth, by the way. Tahuti. That's Thoth. Kristen. So from an astrotheology, what do you think of the opening of the Olympics? I'd have to watch the whole thing. Can you DM me the video so I can watch this thing finally and then just talk about it? So, Kristen, DM it to me. But we've got a decent crowd in here right now. I'm going to give it another couple minutes. Not too much. But if you guys have any questions, please let me know. And we'll totally address this. So, what I'm going to do is just chill for a minute or two. And then look for comments. And then we'll start when we're about 15 minutes in. Anybody else have any questions? Incidentally, Joe, I'm going to write to you. Joe, are the emerald tablets real? I did an episode with a cult priestess where we discussed this. We will do the emerald tablets of Thoth tomorrow because that is Egyptian. We're going to make our way through the Egyptian works. Are they real? They were created, but the ancients knew that the tablet was one emerald tablet. It was a tablet, not many tablets. So it's really up in the air. But tomorrow, when we talk about the emerald tablets of Thoth, we're going to go into the quantum physics that's embedded into it too, as well as the astrotheology. Do you feel the world is an outward example of what you want or feel like you want to happen in the inside? I prefer to think about it like we make our own path in the world. And if what we say resonates with a decent amount of people, at a certain point, we get looked at by those who are in charge. And if we're really dangerous, then they come after us. However, do I think that the world is an outward example? We create our own reality. This is why the ancients, with their wands made out of Hollywood, the druids, they would cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. You learn how to spell because it spells. Because words is spelling. That's what abracadabra means. Abracadabra, right? Abracadabra means I will create into existence, or I will speak into existence, is what it means. All right, guys, so let's get started. The Egyptian Book of the Dead. Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate it. I'll take a look at it and I'll DM you when this whole thing is done. 12 signs. The first sign is Aquarius, which is represented by the man with the water pitcher. So whenever you hear son of man or man, baptism, because this is how you baptize someone, and this is the sign of the man, whereas Virgo is the sign of the woman. Water pitcher. Fountain, stream, river, lake, pond, sea, ocean, all water bodies, because there's water in the picture. They used it to describe water, just like Pisces, the sign of the two fish in the water. So the first two signs that I bring up are technically water signs. So the division between Aquarius and Pisces, whether you're using one or the other to describe water, depends on the patterns that you'll show. That's why there's two different waters. Now, Aries is the ram, and in Aries you have March 21st, which is the spring equinox. It's 12-hour day, 12-hour night. There's three different Passovers. The astrotheological Passover. The astrotheological Passover, this is when the sun is going to cross the equator and start to make its height back up into the summer solstice. The Jewish one, which is after the Egyptian one, or after the astrotheological one, is when the angel of death passes over all the houses in Egypt, and anyone that doesn't have the lamb's blood smeared on the doorposts, well, their firstborn sons get killed. So why the lamb's blood? Well, it's Aries. It's Aries the ram. It's defining these people as the age of Aries. That's why they blow the ram's horn to the sky during the holidays. So ram, lamb, shepherd, ram's horn, that's Aries. Taurus is the bull, as above, so below. You see the bull in the sky, you put the plow on the bull on earth. It's as above, so below. You put the plow on the bull, he tows the land, then you plant the seeds so you can harvest in Virgo and Libra. What do you harvest in Virgo and Libra? Well, we'll get to that. When you talk about bull, ox, calf, or cow being the female bull, that's Taurus. Gemini is the twins. It's the story of Castor and Pollux Troy, whose sister was Helen of Troy. It's the story of Achilles. So whenever you hear twins or brothers, you're talking about Gemini. Cancer is the crab, and it's a sideways moving creature. Just as the sun rises a degree on its axis starting December 25th, it stops on June 21st, and for 3 days it rises to the same degree, hence moving sideways. Then it lowers a degree on June 25th, and then on the 26th, and it just does the opposite pattern. It's going to go all the way down to the winter solstice, walk sideways for 3 days, come back to life December 25th. The crab in the ancient Egyptian time was known as the scarab. So whenever you're talking about crab or beetle, which they don't do so often, you're talking about Cancer. Now, they talk about the scarab, I believe, in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. So we'll talk about that. But there's other things in Cancer, too. It's not just a crab and a scarab. You have Argo, the ship starts there. You have the beehive cluster, that's the honey. You have Canis Major, that's the dog star. That's the dog. You have Acellus Borealis, which is the donkey, right? You have a lot of things that are going on in Cancer. When I do my main presentation, which I'm really debating on doing this live, and just getting this out there, my massive, massive presentation when this is all done. Let me know, guys, in the comments if you want me to do my big presentation for you guys live with questions. This will probably be a 3-hour excursion, so I'm going to have to wear a diaper. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. But if you guys want me to do one that long and you're willing to stick around and go through that with live questions, let me know. Leo is the king. He's the lion. He's the king of the jungle or the savannah. The ruling planet of Leo is actually the sun. So whenever you're talking about lion, lioness, or cub, that's Leo. Virgo is the woman holding the wheat stalk. Remember before when you were saying that you plant in Taurus? Well, the virgins would cultivate the wheat in Virgo in order to make the bread for the year. So whenever you hear virgin, wheat, grain, seed, barley, corn, all grainy things that are harvested during Virgo season. That's Virgo. Libra is the justice, the scales, it's the balance. The reason it's the justice is because it's going to judge God's sun as it passes over, or technically passes under, the equator and begins its descent into winter, into cold, into death. Remember, this is Northern Hemisphere science. Remember that. All these ancient societies, from the Sumerians that we've done, to the Babylonians that we've done, to now the Egyptians right now, to the Jews, to the Muslims, to the Christians, to the Mormons, to all of them, they were all in the Northern Hemisphere. Anyway, so Libra's also a wine season. So when you plant the grapes in Taurus, you press the wine here. Libra is also olive oil season. So all law-related things like law, judge, judgment, justice, the just one, divorce, marriage, court, wine, vineyard, wine press, olive oil or olive oil, all law, all wine, all olive. That is all in Libra. And then Scorpio is the scorpion. He is the betrayer. When a scorpion attacks you, it leaves an imprint in your skin that looks like a pair of lips. That's why the mafia has the kiss of death. And it's why Jesus was betrayed by Judas with a kiss. So, the sun is judged in Libra by the scales. Then it's betrayed in Scorpio. And then next you have Sagittarius. This is where the man on the horse with the bow and the arrow, he's going to shoot that arrow into the sun, killing it. Because the last day of Sagittarius is the winter solstice. We already basically went over this. So whenever you hear horse, bow and arrow, spear, or horseman, that's Sagittarius. Capricorn is the goat because he likes to climb the mountain. And if you look at the zodiac wheel, let me see if I can find one. I can't, but the zodiac wheel starts with Capricorn at the bottom. The climb up the great mountain for the sun, the mountain being the year. The mountain is on its way to its height in the summer solstice. It starts the climb in Capricorn just like the goat does. These are basically all just papyruses, and they show you this, and then they show you the translation under. So this is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous book, guys. It's absolutely beautiful. And they tell you everything that's in it. It's a beautiful book. For the life of me, I don't understand why Rex won't go live with me with this book. I don't. But the other question I wanted to ask before we start, guys, because those are the 12, is you guys have seen and heard my 12 signs so many times. You've heard it so many times, guys. At this point, is it still necessary for me to do it? I mean, I'm going to do it either way. But I want to know, do you guys, like when you watch me and you know that it's coming, do you guys just like tune out for 5 to 10 minutes until I start breaking things down? Let me know in the comment section. So let's see what we got here. It's in your messenger. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you. Lori. Renee is here. Renee is one of the sweetest commenters on Facebook. She puts up with the bullshit that I post, and she always has something nice to say about the nice stuff that I post. I love Renee. Spiritual water, ether, Aquarius, air. Everything is on or in the air. Well, I'll ask you a question, Mary Ellen Peters, before we get into the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Try and explain to me why Tesla came out with all his work and his free science and everything. And around the same time Tesla had his work, they removed ether from the textbooks as the fifth element. And it's been removed ever since. And now it's a lost. People don't understand it. People don't know what it is. Libby Lou, good day, everyone. Is there a connection there, Mary? Did Tesla's work that he basically forced into public limelight, was he the reason that the ether was removed? Lori, I'm not sure what you're laughing at, but it's probably at my dumbass, so I appreciate it. Much love. Looking good with that hat. Thank you, Mama. This is my girl again. She's always in the chat, always supporting, always loving. I swear, I live for these messages. Jeanette, where do we find Santos Bonacci these days? Is he banned from YouTube? He is banned from YouTube. He is banned from YouTube because he went off on a video about, they were itching to take him down. They were just looking for him to do anything. And he started going hot and heavy, talking about taking people out, and they don't like when you do that. They don't like when you do that at all. Where can you find Santos? Well, the Syncretism Society that I used to teach at is no more. But you can find him on Rockfin. No, is it Rockfin? Rumble. He's on Rumble. Check that out because he has people uploading all his videos. You're looking good these days. Love your hat on you. Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, always give us the 12 signs. I want you guys to be able to do this in your sleep. I do. Still helping educate me. Kim Sandoval. Thank you. I plan on teaching this. I like hearing it repeated. Thank you, Jamie. I think it's a nice reminder. Repetition is the mother of skills. Oh, the diaper comment. Well, think about this. People that wait all day to meet like President Trump, or people who try to wait in New York City for the ball to drop when they're there hours and hours and hours before, how do you think they survive the day? They're not just like peeing on their neighbors. A lot of them wear diapers. They do. Beard looks good as well. Thank you, Jamie. I actually just had it trimmed. Let's see here. Yes, funny about that. So that's definitely worth looking into. All right, Mary Ellen, I'll let you go down that rabbit hole and let me know what you find and reach out to me. Okay, guys, so let's begin. Introductory hymn to the sun god Re, or Ra. May I smite the ass, may I drive off the rebel serpent, may I destroy Apophis when he acts. For I have seen the Abju fish in its moment of being, and the Inat fish piloting the canoe on its waterway. The ass is the donkey, which is a Celis borealis located in Cancer. The serpent is Ophiuchus, or the snake bearer, or the 13th sign. The two fish mentioned are the two fish in Pisces. Chapter for not letting. Okay, so let's explain this Egyptian Book of the Dead. They don't have it broken down into chapter and verse like our fantastic Bible does, or the Gnostic text. What they do have is they've named the chapters. So I've named the naming of the chapters, and I'm going over the astrotheology in that chapter, but unfortunately, I can't give you the exact, what is it called? I can't give you the exact, you know the thing. No, I mean, I can't give you guys like a page number or basically because all these books are different and there's no chapter or verse. So, oh my heart, which I had from my mother. Oh my heart, which I had from my mother. Oh my heart of my different ages. Do not stand up as a witness against me. Do not be opposed to me in the tribunal. Do not be hostile to me in the presence of the keeper of the balance. So this is a chapter for not letting Ani's heart create opposition against him in the God's domain. The mother is the sign of the woman Virgo. The witness / keeper of the balance is the scales in Libra, the justice, the judgment. These are connecting signs. Thoth had judged him in writing, which has been told to the Aeneid, and the Mot, the great, has witnessed. Let there be given to him bread and beer, which have been issued in the presence of Osiris, and he will be forever like the followers of Horus. The judge is Libra, the bread is Virgo with the wheat stalk. The beer is from barley, which is cultivated in Virgo as well. Again, these two are connecting signs. Here begins the chapters of going out into the day, the praises and recitations for going to and fro in the God's domain, which are beneficial in the beautiful West, and which are to be spoken on the day of the burial, and of going in after coming out. Hail to you, bull of the West, the zodiac. The bull is on the west side of the zodiac, or the left side. So says Thoth, the king of eternity of me. Make sense? I am the priest in Busiris, for the lion god in the house of Osiris with those who raise up earth. The lion god is Leo the lion. I am he who takes the hoe of the day. I do not take the hoe of the day. I don't. I'm in a committed relationship. I apologize. Anyway, I am he who takes the hoe on the day of breaking up the earth in Heraclopolis. The hoe in breaking up the earth is talking about what you do with the bull when you plow the earth. That takes place in Taurus when you break up the earth and plant. Guys, we've done so far live 3 Sumerian tablets, the Enuma Elish. We're doing the Book of the Dead right now, the Code of Hammurabi. Are you surprised to find these patterns in every single one of them? I mean, it's basically just like a treasure hunt. It's basically just a keyword cipher that explains a story. And it changes what the story is trying to tell you. Here begins praises and recitations going in and out of the god's domain. Having benefit in the beautiful West, being in the suite of Osiris, resting at the food table of Wenifer, going out into the day, taking any shape in which he desires to be, playing at Senet, sitting in a booth, and going forth as a living soul by the Osiris Ani after he has died. It is beneficial to him who does walk it on earth. Who does it on earth? Who is he? He is Atum, who is in his sun disk. Interesting. Otherwise said, he is Re, or Ra, when he rises in the eastern horizon of the sky. They're telling you that Amun-Ra rises in the east. They're telling you he's the sun. Not a far leap to see how these kind of stories evolve into Christianity. Ra is how it was translated to be, but it means Ra. Amun-Ra, which is where we get Amen from. The sun rises in the eastern horizon of the sky. I have seen the sun god, who was born yesterday from the buttocks of the celestial cow. If he be well, then I will be well, and vice versa. What does it mean? It means these waters of the sky. The celestial cow is Taurus, the bull, the female cow. The waters of the sky are Aquarius and Pisces, the 2 water signs. Who are they? As for those gods of lords of justice, they are Seth and Isdes, lord of the west. As for the tribunal, which is behind Osiris, Imseti, happy, Duamutef, and Quebas, Sanif, it is these who are behind the great bear in the northern sky. Well, the justice is Libra, and the great bear is Ursa Major, which is in Cancer. Remember, it also has the bear, too. That was the one I forgot. The bear, the dog, the honey, the bees, the donkey. That's all Cancer. I am his twin souls, which are within the two fledglings. The twins are Gemini. I shall not sit down in their fish traps. No harm shall be done to me from those whom the gods detest, because I have passed on, having bathed in the Milky Way. The fish trap represents Pisces, the two fish. The Milky Way, whose center is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is when a person dies, December 21st, which is why he passed on. He passed on having bathed in the Milky Way. The Milky Way's center is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the death. That's why he has died after bathing in the Milky West. This is why the constellation Argo, the ship that starts in Cancer and spans all the way around, goes to Scorpio. The ship can ride the waves of the Milky Way galaxy. It's Noah's Ark. It's Jason and the Argonauts. It's everything. It's the same story. How well built is your house, O Atum? How well founded is your mansion, O double lion? The house mansion represents a zodiac house. In the Bible, it says, in my father's house there are many mansions. And the Leo would be lion. So the mansion is the house of Leo. O mighty of knives, lady of the two lands, the one who smashed the enemies of the weary-hearted one, the one who does what is wise, the one free of wrong. The name of its gatekeeper is Long-Horned Bull. What is to be said when arriving at the fifth portal? Words spoken by the Osiris Ani, the vindicated. O fiery one, mistress of heat, the joyful one, the one whom the entreaties of the bald-headed eagle do not descend, the one who asks that something be given to her without the swift of glance entering into her. The name of its gatekeeper is one who spears the disaffected. So the lady is Virgo, the woman. The long-horned bull is Taurus, the bull. The spear represents Sagittarius, the man with the bow and the arrow. It's sometimes translated as a spear. The spear is a weapon of death. It's always been a weapon of death. The spear has been a weapon of death for the beginning of history, and the death takes place in Sagittarius, remember? So the two in the Bible, and there are many stories in here which give way to the Bible. We'll get to the Ten Commandments in this presentation because they're ripped right from here. And I'm going to show you 3 of them, and then I'm going to let you hunt for the rest. So the spear. Let's talk the spear. They tell you this in the Bible. The 2 most important murders that happen in the Bible are Cain and Abel, the first murder, and Jesus, basically the last murder in the story. Jesus gets hit with a spear on the side to check if he's dead. The word Cain in Hebrew means spear. So spear was an instrument of death, which is why you connect it to Sagittarius. As to the Great Council, which is in the hacking up of the earth of Busiris, it means the arrival of the gang of Seth when they made their transformations as goats and when they were sacrificed in the presence of these gods. And the blood which dropped from them was captured and was given to those who are counted among the ones in Busiris, while the goats are the sign of Capricorn. Anubis is mentioned for the first time. The word dog is God spelled backwards, and it goes back to the dog-faced Anubis. I am Orion the Great, who dwells with the souls of Heliopolis. Orion is between Taurus and Gemini. Now, Heliopolis, guys, was known as the City of Light in Greece. In Egypt, I apologize, not Greece. Heliopolis was the City of Light. That's where they went to become enlightened. In fact, Heliopolis was called On, O-N. That was the name for it. And that's why when you go into a room, if you don't have any light, you turn the light on. That's where it comes from. Who is with you? Is it the two songstress serpents? You shall separate head from head when approaching the Milky Way. Huh. Well, the serpent is Ophiuchus, the snake bearer, which sits between Scorpio and Sagittarius. The twin, or the two songstress serpents, the twins, indicating two, is Gemini. Gemini, when you add Ophiuchus, they're opposing signs to the 12. The Milky Way, whose center is in Sagittarius. So, you have the opposing signs to make the pattern. Precise and accurate is the name of the steering oar, like him who smothered things over when you buried yourself in the waters. You shall give me a jug of milk, a shen's loaf, a Persian loaf, a jug of beer, and a portion of meat in the mansion of Anubis. The waters are Aquarius and Pisces. The milk comes from the Milky Way galaxy, Sagittarius. The loaves and the beer come from Virgo, the barley, and the wheat. And the meat would come from Aries, the lamb. But if you're not comfortable because they didn't explain what the meat was, then you don't have, we can just remove this last one, because I'm only just trying to show patterns that are absolutely, positively provable. That's the name of the game. Because when you make claims like I do, there's no room for error. So let me check the comments here. We have about halfway to go. Let me see here. I drop in when you are on my sign. What sign would that be? I like hearing you go over it. Aquarius is an air sign. Correct, Rosalind. But because there's water in the actual physical picture of the man holding the water pitcher pouring it out, because there's physical water in it, they used it to encode and explain water. Lady Mantis is here. Great job. Thank you. I haven't done anything yet, but thank you. Thank you, thank you. Todd is here. Aaron is here. What's up, Todd? I smell a bromance in the room growing. Fantastic. Amanda. Hey, glad I got to catch you. Thank you. You're welcome, Rosalind. I go through the 12 signs at the beginning of everything. So, let's continue. Why not, right? Chapter for not restraining Ani's soul in the God's domain. O you who are on high, who are worshipped, whose power is great, a ram greatly majestic, the dread of whom is put into the gods where you appear on your great throne. The ram is Aries, the ram. The great throne would be the sun in Aries. That's the spring. That's the beginning of the year. Chapter for causing a man to turn about in order to see his house upon earth. I am the lion who went out with a bow. I have shot, and I have the eye of Horus. Belongs to me. I have opened the eye of Horus at this time. I have reached the riverbank. Come in peace, O Ani. So they knew about the eye of Horus back then. Well, what is the eye of Horus, guys? Let's see if we can't show you what the eye of Horus is. So bear with me a sec as I pull something up. The first story that come up, it says what Kamala Harris said about black people. I can't with this. All this nonsense. I see plenty here. Let me see. This will be worth it, guys, I promise. Here we go. I found it. Okay. All right. So remove and present. Todd, don't ruin this. I'm kidding. You're absolutely right. It is the pineal gland. Check this out. You guys see this right here? You see that picture? To the left, it's the Eye of Horus. It's the Eye of Horus. And then on the right, you see a sagittal cut of the pineal gland. So if I were to take a knife or a saw and open me up like this, and then open it up, in the middle, you'll see the pineal gland, and then you'll see above it the eyebrow. They have it on the brain, and they have it here. That's the corpus callosum. They knew that was the seat of the soul. And I talk about why 49 days is such a important time period in earlier points. So just wanted to show that. Hopefully I don't have to see any more stupid news titles right now. Can I handle it? All right, share screen. Let's go back to the presentation. The Golden Lake. The pineal gland and the pituitary gland, they each secrete liquids. One is gold, one is white. Those are the presents. These are the neurotransmitters that will help you grow strong, that will keep you happy. Dopamine, norepinephrine, epinephrine, and serotonin. The four major ones. It's all triggered by the claustrum. So when you're reading a children's story and you hear that Santa Claus strum comes down the chimney, down, and shares his presents with everyone by the fireplace, you'll know that it's releasing these chemicals. And they're coming in around the hypothalamus, which is what controls our body temperature, hence the fire. These are metaphorical stories, guys. That's what they basically are. All right, I'll let you guys continue talking. I will continue talking. So the lion is Leo. The bow is Sagittarius, the man on the horse with the bow and the arrow. The river bank is a metaphor for the firmament between the waters of Aquarius and Pisces. Praising Ra on the first day of the month and sailing in the divine bark. Horus has cut off the heads in the sky like birds, and their goat buttocks are in the lake of fish. This is a metaphor for the sun being cold. The goat represents Capricorn, and the lake of fish is Pisces. These are the winter months. Horus is the sun god. The sun is a flaming ball of life that gives everything life, but it's also cold in these months. Get it? Chapter for going down. And this also gives you the thing that's interesting about this is understanding how to read this really gives you an open idea of what kind of climate the ancients used to deal with. You know, they had similar seasons like people in New York did. They had the 4 seasons. Things did get cold. Things did get warm. They needed to know when things were alive. This wasn't something that happened at the equator. This was something that was written for the Northern Hemisphere. Chapter for going down to the tribunal of Osiris. Place bread in my mouth. I will go into the moon god, so that he may speak to me, that the following of the gods may speak to me, that the sun may speak to me, that the sun folk may speak to me. The dread of me is in the twilight and in the celestial waters, which are on his forehead. The bread is Virgo, the lady with the wheat stalk, and the celestial waters are talking about the water sign Pisces. These are opposing signs. Chapter for being transformed into a swallow. I am the scorpion goddess, the daughter of Ra. The scorpion is Scorpio. The double lion raises an objection. The double lion, who is in his cavern, warden of the house of the royal Nemes headdress, said to me, how can you reach the confines of the sky? Do you speak on the confines of the sky? Well, the Leo is lion. The lion is Leo. Chapter for becoming Ptah. Eating bread, drinking beer, purifying the hinder parts, and being alive in Heliopolis. What will you live on, say the gods and spirits to me? I will live and have power through bread. Where will you eat it, say the gods and spirits to me? I will have power, and I will eat it under the branches of the tree of Hathor, my mistress, who made offerings of bread, beer, and corn in Heliopolis. Those who are in Heliopolis bow their heads to me, for I am their Lord, I am their bull. Right? Why would the God or the Lord be the bull? Well, because during the time that this was written, it was the age of Taurus. So the bull worship, guys. The bread, beer, and corn, I've mentioned this at the beginning, is all Virgo when you harvest. The bull is Taurus. Heliopolis is the city of light in Egypt. It was called On, and that's why when you go into a room today, you have to turn the lights on to become enlightened. Everything that I share, everything that I talk about is spiritual. They embed spirituality, the deepest kind of spirituality, in stories for people to figure out. Because staying alive, the Farmer's Almanac, the Zodiac, was how you control people. Because when there's information out there, people like to control the flow of information. And staying alive, there's nothing more important than that. Chapter 125. Okay, so I'm going to pause a sec, check the comments, because I'm going to show you the Ten Commandments next. Rosalind, is this the place, the Holy of Holies? All right, Rosalind, I'm going to show you the Holy of Holies. Bear with me a sec while I find it. Okay. What you're looking at here, Rosalind, is Solomon's Temple. This is Solomon's Temple. It's important to know that Solomon is 3 words for the sun. It's Sol, which is sun in Latin, Om, which is the sun, which is the light of the syllable Om, as advised in the Upanishads, and On was the city of light in Heliopolis. This is sex magic. The Holy of Holies is actually the head of the penis. So Jachin and Boaz, Jachin and Boaz, are the testicles from the overhead view. The holy plate, the porch is the base of the penis. The holy place is the shaft, and the Holy of Holies is the head of the penis. And right here, where the penis hole opens, that's where the Torah is stored. That's the information. That's the DNA. That's the giving of life. Everything is spiritual. The Holy of Holies, and this is a penis entering a vagina. So that's what the Holy of Holies is. I don't know if that's what you were expecting it to be, and I apologize if it's not what it was, but that's what it is. So let me see what I have on the rest of the chat going on right now, because we're making our way. Part of the third eye. You're talking about the pineal gland, right? That's what it is. All right, let's go back to this. Chapter 125, the Declaration of Innocence before the gods of the tribunal. O swallower of shades, who came forth from Kernet, I have not slain people, directly becomes, thou shalt not kill. O doubly evil one, who came forth from the Bucerite nome, I have not had intercourse with a married woman. Thou shalt not covet your neighbor's wife. O he who prospers, the common people, who came forth from Asiad, I have not cursed a god. Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain. This is where the Ten Commandments come from, people. This is chapter 125 of the Book of the Dead. This is where you'll find 3 of the 10 Commandments. The rest are going to be in the 42 positive affirmations of Mott, which I did not list. But we can go over it later if you guys remind me and are still interested. Chapter for a headrest. I am the great cat who is in place of truth, in which light shines forth. Cats were revered in ancient Egypt. However, in the Bible we have today, there is 0 mentions of cats. It's interesting because cats could see beyond our view of the electromagnetic spectrum. They can see other dimensions. They can see spirits. They protected us. Most people get cats, or the old cat lady, right? You don't know why. But that's why we used to have cats, is because they used to protect us from this. They were very spiritual people back then, the Egyptians. The spell for making provision for a spirit in God's domain. Hail to you who shine in your disk, a living soul, who goes up from the horizon. I know you and I know your name. I know the names of the 7 cows and their bull who gave us bread and beer. Well, the cows and the bull are Taurus, and the bread and the beer is Virgo. Another like it. O Atum, who went forth as the great one of the waters, having power as the double lion. The water is Aquarius, and the lion is Leo. These are opposing signs. And when they're talking about the double lion, guys, you could make the argument that they're talking about the Sphinx. And what you guys don't really realize is it's an absolute miracle that we even found the first Sphinx to begin with. At the time it was found, it had been buried up to its neck in sand, and it was excavated. But what you didn't know is that things had binary and they had duality. They did everything in 2s back then. So the lion, 12,000 years ago, Leo, the Sphinx, would have been facing the constellation Leo. 12,000 years later, now, if there is another Sphinx that they find, right, nowadays, they will find that there would have been 2 Sphinxes. And they would have been facing each other. And the one that they find now, that will be facing the constellation Leo right now. It's wild, right? Everything was done in 2s. Everything was done. Let alone pyramids, which are done in like tons. But yeah, everything was done. Well, the pyramids were basically built during the time of Taurus Gemini to follow Orion's belt. Chapter for living by air in the God's domain. I am Atum, who ascends from the primordial water to the celestial waters. I have taken my seat in the west, and I give orders to the spirits whose seats are hidden, for I am the double lion. The water is Aquarius, and the seat in the west is because Aquarius is on the left side of the zodiac. The lion is Leo. Opposing signs. Makes sense, right? Chapter for not eating feces or drinking urine in the God's domain. I am the horned bull who rules the sky, Lord of celestial appearings, the great illuminator who came forth from the heat, who harnesses the years. The double lion is glad, and the movement of the sunshine has been granted to me. I detest what is detestable. I will not eat feces. I will not drink urine. I will not walk head downward. I am the owner of bread in Heliopolis. Bread of mine is in the sky with Ra. The bull is Taurus. The lion is Leo. The bread is Virgo. In the sky with Ra. The sun is in Virgo. Virgo and Leo are connecting signs, by the way. Chapter of knowing all the chapters of going forth by day in a single chapter by M. This chapter, it should be recited while one is pure without going near women, without eating goats, without consuming fish. The women are Virgo, the goats are Capricorn, fish are Pisces. Pisces and Virgo are opposing signs. The water pot is overturned on the back of the Bennu bird and the two lady confederates. Horus is the one to whom his eye is given, so that his face may be illuminated at dawn. I shall not vomit, but instead I shall become a lion. The water pot overturned is Aquarius. Right? The man with the water pot pouring the water out. The lady is Virgo, the woman, and the lion is Leo. Virgo and Leo are connecting signs. Chapter for going out into the day and opening the tomb. The Milky Way will not reject me. The rebels will not have power over me. I shall not be turned away from your portals. The doors shall not be closed against me, because my bread is in Peh, my beer in Dep, my hands shall be there. There shall be given to me my father Atum. There shall be established for me my houses in the sky and on earth, for I am the double lion. The Milky Way is the Milky Way, centers in Sagittarius. The bread is in Virgo, as in the beer, as is the beer. The double lion is Leo. Leo and Virgo are connecting signs. Chapter for proprietary ends Ka for him in the God's domain. To receive Senu bread and Kenef bread, Persian bread, milk, wine, and the provisions of one who follows the god in his procession in his festival of Rosetchow, bearing the water jars of the great god for the benefit of N. So the bread is Virgo. The milk is the Milky Way galaxy, centers in Sagittarius. The wine is Libra. And the water jars are Aquarius. Virgo and Libra, guys, are connecting signs. Chapter for 4 torches for the ceremonies which are carried out for a spirit. The eye of Horus is your protection, O Osiris, foremost of the Westerners. It spreads its protection over you. It fells all your enemies for you, and your enemies have indeed fallen to you. The eye of Horus is symbol perverted by modern day elites. It's not anything evil. The eye of Horus, because what you do, excuse me, forgive me guys, I can't see for shit, but I need to demonstrate this. You cover the left eye in modern day celebrities that do this, and they're made to think that it's evil, right? This is not evil. This is the eye of Horus, is what they're showing you. They're showing you the eye of Horus. The eye of Horus is the pineal gland. So you could see why understanding that could be problematic to all the people out there who are running around looking at signs like this and thinking they're evil and not knowing what they're looking at. It keeps them busy, is what it is. Make recitation at every gate in accordance with what is written, and make an offering to each of them with a foreleg, head, heart, and a side of a red bull, and 4 bowls of blood, not leaving out a heart of costly stone. 16 white loaves, 8 person cakes, 18 shens cakes, 8 kenneth loaves, 8 hebnenet loaves, 8 measures of beer, 8 bowls of grain, 4 clay basins filled with the milk of a white cow, green herbs, and fresh moringa oil. So the bowl is Taurus, the cakes and the loaves are Virgo, the milk is the Milky Way galaxy, Sagittarius, the cow is a female bull, Taurus, and the oil is Libra. So Libra and Virgo are connecting signs. Chapters taken from another book, adding to the book coming forth by day. Chapter for preventing a man's corpse from putrefying in the realm of the dead, in order to rescue him from the eaters of souls, who imprisons in the duat, and to prevent accusations of his crimes upon earth being imputed to him, to cause his flesh and bones to be safe from the maggots, and every god who mutilates in the god's domain, and to allow him to come and go as he wants, and to do everything which is in his heart without being restrained. Drawn in dried myrrh mixed with wine. repeated with malachite of Upper Egypt and water from the west well of Egypt, on a green bandage of which all a man's limbs are enveloped. The wine is Libra. The water from the well is Aquarius, and the man is Aquarius at well. Important enough to talk about. They talk about myrrh here. When you're talking about frankincense and myrrh, guys, that you're talking about what they brought to see Jesus, the frankincense and the myrrh and the gold, right? Frankincense and myrrh are olive plants. And what is olive? Olive is Libra. So think about that. Chapter for mooring and not letting the sacred eye be injured, for maintaining the corpse and drinking water. To be said over a divine image with raised arm, plumes on his head, his legs apart, his middle a scarab, drawn with the lapis lazuli and water of gum. Also an image whose head is human, his arms hanging down, the head of a ram on his right shoulder. He shall drink water of the river. He shall shine like a star in the sky. The scarab in the Egyptian zodiac was where Cancer the crab is now. That's why St. Augustine called Jesus the good beetle. The water is in Aquarius, as is the human head, the head of a ram or Aries. He shall drink water of the river or Pisces. So you have Aquarius, Pisces, and Aries. That's 3 signs in a row, guys. Chapter for raising up a spirit and causing a soul to live in the God's domain. See, upon your head as a soul are horns as of a wild bull, for you are a black ram. The head is a man's head. The horns of a wild bull are Taurus, and the ram is Aries. Taurus and Aries are connecting signs. And guys, that is the Egyptian Book of the Dead through astrotheology. So, how many keyboards do you go through? You're on a mission every time. I mean, when you guys bring up stuff that I know shit about, and I can show you and explain a question that's kind of like off topic, I don't mind doing that. You know? How many keyboards? I guess you can hear me smashing them. No, dude, I have a computer that I've had for a couple of years now. Well, I thought it was the pineal gland, the Holy of Holies. Interesting, right? You see why there's so much penis worship in ancient times. Pat Breeze, shall not murder is the real translation. A lot of Christians, because of this, won't protect themselves, believing it is wrong to kill. Yeah, that's right. For example, in the Bible, in the Old Testament, the commandment in Hebrew is "Thou shalt not murder." The Christians in King James Bible, King James, by the way, who was a homosexual demonologist, whose demonology books you can still buy on Amazon. In fact, if you were to buy a King James Bible right now, the patent for it is owned by the Crown. So go figure that. That's right. You can kill a bunch of things, but you can't murder a bunch of things. You familiar with Robert Grant and his most recent I've heard a lot about Robert Grant. I need to look into him. There's so much out there, guys, that just is so exciting to learn and share. So I'm basically on a mission to bring you guys all this work. But when it finally slows down and when I finally make it through the like 50 or so books that I still have to go through, I will start looking into this kind of stuff too. This is Micah good stuff. All right, guys. So it's been about an hour and 8 minutes. Love you tremendously. I don't really have time to go into this, Kim, right now, but send me a DM with a specific question, and I'll talk to you guys soon.